Professor convicted for rigging election for Akpabio walks free instead of serving jail term. Welcome to Nigeria. Welcome to Nigeria. That means they've run ahead to do something to release him. Be that. Obviously. He's working freely. Wow. Welcome to Nigeria. Peter Ogban, the disgraced Nigerian professor convicted and sentenced to 3 years imprisonment for rigging 2019 senatorial election for the country's Senate president, Godswill Akpabio, has been walking free instead of serving his jail term. Welcome to Nigeria. He was sentenced to 3 years and he's already working freely. That's because he actually did what they said he did. You know that Akpabio was denying him that, I was a victim. I didn't benefit from his whatever. He was the one that even sabotaged me, that I almost did not win the election. Thank God for the court, blah, 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 blah. But now he's working freely. What does that tell you people? That he actually rigged the election for Akpabio. That is why they will sentence him to 3 years imprisonment. But rather than being in prison, he's working freely. People are welcome to Nigeria. It is well. He's working freely instead of serving his jail term. Premium Times can authoritatively report. Many Nigerians, including journalists, erroneously think Mr. Ogban has served or is still serving his jail term. Mr. Akpabio, a former governor of Akwa Ibom State, is a member of the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC) and a strong ally of President Bola Tinubu. The Court of Appeal, Calabar, on 30th of April upheld the lower court conviction and a 3-year jail term for Mr. Ogban, a professor of soil science at the University of Calabar and a returning officer in the 2019 general elections in Akwa Ibom Northwest District. The State High Court in Oyo on 25th of March 2021 found Mr. Ogban guilty of announcing fake election results in 2 local government areas, Oruk Anam and Etim Ekpo, in Mr. Akpabio's favor and sentenced him to jail on the same day. If he has been sentenced to jail since 2021, and that means he must have finished his 3 years now. Abi, Mr. Ogban was taken from the courtroom in Oyo to a federal prison in Kotekbene, still in Akwa Ibom, to serve his prison term. However, the professor spent only about 4 months in prison, as another judge, Pius Obiong of the State High Court Ikotekbene, granted him bail on 12th of July 2021. Wow. Despite the opposition from the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), which prosecuted the professor. The professor was freed on bail while pursuing his appeal against his conviction and sentenced by the lower courts. The Court of Appeal judgment, which upheld Mr. Ogban's conviction and jail term, was delivered virtually, no be small thing. A lawyer knowledgeable about the case told Premium Times on Monday that the professor was not at the Court of Appeal courtroom when the judgment was delivered. It was delivered virtually. The officials of the Nigerian prisons ought to have made sure Professor Ogban was present in the courtroom. That's the kind of lawlessness that we have in this country now. Oh, he was supposed to be present in the courtroom during that judgment, and they should have taken him straight to Ikotekbene prison immediately after the judgment, he said. A lawyer identified by Truecallers apps as Eddie, a member of the Kanu Agabi and Associates, admitted to Premium Times on Monday that the convicted professor ought to be in jail, but said she did not know his exact location at the moment. No be small. Richard Metong, the spokesperson of the Nigeria Correctional Service in Akwa Ibom, said he did not know if Mr. Ogban was in any of the prison facilities in Akwa Ibom. He asked our reporter to give him time to run a check, but did not call back or respond to further calls from our reporters. Nigeria. God, this country. Clement Owenwono was the INEC lawyer during the hearing of Mr. Ogban's bail application, while Kanu Agabi's son represented the professor. Mr. Agabi claimed Mr. Ogban had high blood pressure and tuberculosis. That was why they released him. And once they've done something bad, they will generate sickness for you. They would generate one sickness. He has blood pressure. He has tuberculosis. According to a court document seen by Premium Times, he pleaded with the court to grant his client's bail because of ill health. That is what all of them do. Once they do something bad, their neck will start paining them. They'll start using wheelchair. Now, while he was about to go to the Court of Appeal to challenge his conviction and sentence, He argued that the professor may suffer injustice if he remained in prison, and the Court of Appeal eventually reduced the sentence, giving him an option of a fine or discharge and acquitted him, an argument Mr. Ejong upheld in his ruling on the bail application. Now, wow. According to the court document, the INEC lawyer, Mr. Onwenwono, in his argument said the professor's claim that he was ill neither qualified for an exceptional circumstances nor an unusual reason for him to be granted bail. Exactly. If he is sick, let him go and treat himself and come back and do his sentence. Why are they granting him bail? He said what the Supreme Court has qualified as such exceptional circumstances or unusual reason is where the convict's ailments cannot be treated in the prison, and the prison authorities are unable to arrange for such treatment outside the prison facility. Mr. Ejong said in his ruling the court agrees with the senior learned counsel Akpabio that it is a possibility that the appeal may not be allowed and the applicants ordained, discharged and acquitted. This country just dey muzz me. They muzz me oh. In addition, the judge ruled that this court holds the view that although the applicant's so-called health conditions and medical reports cannot constitute such an exceptional circumstance, he has nonetheless made out a case to warrant being granted a temporary reprieve. According to a court document seen by a reporter, Mr. Gabi is going to the Supreme Court to challenge the Court of Appeal's judgment affirming Mr. Ogban's conviction and sentence for election fraud. Now, things are happening in this country. Another professor, Ignatius Odok, was recently jailed by a state high court in New York for election fraud. All our professors, university professors, can you imagine? Mr. Odok, a professor of human kinetics in the Department of Physical and Health Education at the University of Oyo, was jailed for 3 years. INEC prosecuted him on 3 charges: announcement of false election results, publication of false results, and perjury during the 2019 general elections in Essen Udim State Constituency, where he served as INEC's collation and returning officer. The professor falsified the election results to the advantage of the APC candidates. Can you imagine? Inse Utuen, who was then an ally of Mr. Akpabio. However, Mr. Oduk was recently granted bail by a state high court in Oyo. Now what for us in this country? And this will not still make the other professors that they are going to be using as the returning officers in the next election to still do the right thing. Like, Nigeria is just corrupt. It's just corrupt. You think that professors that have integrity, and so you can go and pick them and they will do something okay, but they are also cheap and can be swayed by money. Imagine, professor. It is well with us in this country. At least now, over to you. Leave your thoughts. Don't forget to like, to share and subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.